Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and next to me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you. Today, we are joined by host of the Comics Collective podcast, it's Anne.
Hey, everyone. Oh, this is so cool. Thank you for having me. This is great. I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, of course. I literally just said it off mic, but I wanted to do like an Aquaman episode because I love Aquaman, and I've been a fan and like Twitter follower of yours for a while.
Yeah,
and the only person that I see that wears the Aquaman, like waves the Aquaman flag more than me, is you. And
then also you have very similar thirsts.
We do seem to have similar thirst taste based on Twitter feed. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that checks out.
So I want to talk a bit about that. I mean, obviously, maybe now for people, Aquaman is maybe.
Oh, I thought you were just like, I want to talk about muscly women.
No. That's different.
I'm down if you want to. I got a list. We can go through it.
Aquaman is a more, I think, acceptably popular character now, obviously, with the movie and stuff like that. But what was it that first kind of drew you to that character or that corner of DC, even if it's not specifically Aquaman himself?
It's funny because, like, I'd been introduced to corners of DC before. Like, before I got into Aquaman, I was obviously very familiar with like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I'd played through the Arkham games. I was enjoying those very much. I was watching the anime movies. Superman, Batman, Apocalypse is one of the first DC movies I ever watched.
Right.
So I was familiar with the universe, but there were these beyond like the Trinity. I wasn't sure about any of it. And there was the trailer for Injustice that really did it, because there was an Aquaman trailer and everyone's like, you got to come see this. They made the fish guy cool. And I'm like, no way. Because I remembered him from the Super Friends and the old Boomerang show, which I used to watch when I was in kindergarten. And I was like, it's so cheesy. How are they going to do this? And I watched the trailer, and I think I watched it like 6 times in a row. So I was like, wait, hold up. This guy controls sharks. This we might have something here. Why didn't I think about it like this? And I picked up that game, started reading the New 52, and that's actually how I got into like weekly, month-to-month comics.
Right.
That was my gateway.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Also,
say what you will about the New 52, but it was that for a lot of people, and frankly, it was also that for me coming back to comics. Yeah, I had been away, and then I was like, "Oh, new number ones!" I was like, "Great."
It's very approachable, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the history decides which ones landed and which ones didn't, but like as endeavor, like it definitely was like, I was like, great, this is my way back in. I don't have to catch up on like 600 issues of something. Yeah. So, and that Aquaman New 52 series is so goddamn good too.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to pull down my omnibus just because I can.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm so happy with this.
Look at that.
God.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
I'm emasculated.
She's also heavy.
Yeah, I know. I don't usually go in for like the omnibuses and stuff like that because they're so hard for like to read because they're so big. But it's kind of cool to have on your shelf.
Well, yeah, I just got the super kids one.
Oh yeah, you've got that one. I got the Starman Compendium, and
I'm jealous.
Definitely get in on that because that's a cool series too. Okay. Aquaman.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna rein it in.
Oh, is this like an important episode for you or something?
This is meaningful for me. Do you have a sort of favorite version of Aquaman?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Do you mean like design-wise or personality-wise?
I'll leave that up to you because I know that those are kind of separate things, but yeah.
I feel like I'm going to hit the dead horse here, but I feel like that New 52 version, the one that's definitely stuck between two worlds and keeps hitting on that theme over and over again, I think that's the one that resonated the most with me.
Sure.
Because that outcast who wants to belong and still does, he's the person that does the right thing, even though it feels like no one's with him.
Right.
That's something that I really clung to and really respected and got me through some hard times personally. So I think that's the version that's always going to like sit in my heart, but I think all of them have their own redeeming qualities. And I've even come to appreciate some of the cheesiness of some of the older ones.
Right.
Like weird Aquaman, his costume coming from like a prison uniform and growing up with dolphins. That's the story with the New 52. Going back and finding some of this older Aquaman stuff is so weird. But
yeah.
I'm at the age now where it's like, I like it. I'm here for the random cheesiness. I'm good for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, you brought up the dolphins thing. I always kind of liked that. I'm weirdly partial to like hook hand Aquaman. I partly because it's a cool like design. I know Anne is staunchly shirt on, camp shirt on for Aquaman, but I'm kind of partial to the hook hand thing, and I like that. Yeah, he was like raced by dolphins, and I kind of dug that.
I didn't know that part of it.
Really, there are a couple arcs where he goes on like revenge sprees because people killed dolphins that he knew, like personally. They have
yeah, like his childhood friends like get like fished, and he like goes on like a revenge kick.
He's like at the pier, and someone like cracks open a can of tuna, and he's just like, "You."
I used to be so staunchly against Aquaman jokes because I got them all the time. Because you tell someone, "Oh, my favorite superhero is Aquaman," you're about to get the ribbing of your life.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like
what I wouldn't pay for the ribbing of my life.
Oh my god. But now I've come to appreciate them. They're good ones. If you can make the good Aquaman jokes, like yeah.
I kind of like even in the New 52. I like the moment it's in issue 1 or 2 where he goes to sit down like in a restaurant in Amnesty Bay, and he orders fish and chips, and someone turns around and goes like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Yeah, I can. Like, what do you think I eat in the ocean?"
Yeah. You live in the ocean. Guess where your food comes from?
But it's like, we're not friends. It's not like
it's like we eat cows and they're on the same plane. Like,
yeah, I always kind of liked that.
And I definitely like how they implemented that into the mythos. I thought that was a really cool way to address it for the modern age. Because they knew they had that problem going into it, trying to convince people that Aquaman's worth giving a damn about. And I think they did a really good job at it.
Totally.
At the end of the day, especially with the hook hand thing, for me, it's like, it was always there. Pirates and like Aquaman,
right.
like it's right there.
Actually, even when you get past that era, when he has the water bearer hand, like that is like, you look at some of the covers of that series, and it's like full swashbuckle. It's like,
it's always there. I don't know why it took them so long, because they were just like, no, he's a sailor, like for so many years. That it's like, no, make him a fucking pirate, like.
Yeah, I kind of like him when he's like a weird ocean loner too, like when he's like in a cave, stuff like that. Like I kind of like that stuff.
You like grunge Aquaman?
A little bit. I don't know why. Yeah,
works back to the glory days of the Aqua Cave, which was a thing.
Pearl Jam, get it?
Boo.
Where's the hang up button? There we go.
Oh, they always find it.
So for this episode, we put out a call for questions, but specifically. We put out a call for questions about kind of the broader Aquaman family, because I feel like people are getting more acquainted with Aquaman, but maybe not his sort of cast of characters. Yeah, the Aquamily. I don't like that as much. It doesn't work the way Shazamily does.
No, not this.
So we got lots of questions about all sorts of characters, and it might just be a fun way to talk about stuff that we like.
Yeah, baby. I'm full of Halloween candy and gin. Let's get going.
Let's do it.
So there's lots there for you.
Some of these look like winter, like Christmas.
Yeah, they are, because I made a hasty...
There's like snowflakes on this.
Yeah. I made a hasty trip to the grocery store yesterday.
Right.
Halloween, and that was what was there. So there's a lot.
They had already changed over.
Full-size bars, baby. It's all
I know. I'm in the coffee crisp.
Yeah, do it. Canada rules. All right. Well, let's start grabbing our questions, and we're going to go to Twitter.
Twitter.
All right. And our first question comes from Ben Bradley Drums. Why don't you fucking show off? Jeez.
Yeah. My Twitter name doesn't say what I'm good at.
Yeah. You actually have the same account almost, but you're Ben Bradley Combs.
Why would I have his name?
I don't know. It's weird. It was a weird choice on your part. All right. First question is, who is Tula?
Tula. Well, Tula in the New 52, we actually don't see too much of her, which is kind of a shame.
Oh, really?
She's sort of like military, and I think she's related to Orm.
Yep, she's his half sister.
Yeah,
on the dad's side.
Yeah, the other way, the other half sibling, the opposite of Arthur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's like military. She like works in like the Royal Guard or whatever for Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's the captain of the Drift, I believe.
Yeah, but Tula beforehand was she was Aqua Girl in the in the pre New 52.
Really?
Have in all your explorations of Aquaman, have you found like a Tula story that you ever felt like good about? Because I kind of feel like Tula was always, I know she's kind of much loved, but I always felt like she was kind of throwaway.
Yeah, she's one of the thing with a lot of like the Aquafamily characters is they're in that spot where it's like they exist and they're really cool and I would love to see more of them. They just don't get that time to shine.
Yeah.
And Tula gets some fun moments in the New 52 and the Rebirth stuff. She plays a pretty solid role there too, but it's always just as like the advisor. She's there. She hangs out with Mara a lot. I actually think I need to check it out again, but I think she plays a pretty solid role in Mara's miniseries.
Yeah, she's definitely in there. I think you're right though. I think you've hit the right point where it's never really like a Tula story, or very rarely rather is it a Tula story. She's always there or she's implicated, but it's like they always make her kind of secondary to like. I can't think of offhand a very specific Tula centered story.
I actually believe there was one issue where it was her and Mara in the Aquaman Deep Dive series that came out digitally last year. I actually think Andrea Shea wrote it. 1 second. I'm going to go. You talk. I'm going to grab this off my shelf.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, Tula, she was Aqua Girl, and she was the love interest for Garth, the first Aqua lad. Tula, they work her in a little bit into Young Justice in sort of like a love triangle thing between Calderon and Garth. But yeah, I mean, she dies somewhat like without like fanfare. Some point after Infinite Crisis, I think it's like post Sub Diego or something like that, she dies. And then, you know, like her corpse comes back in Blackest Night. There's a lot of like that kind of crap with her, but she is pretty cool. She's pretty badass now. Like I like her as the sort of military thing. I think I just want like more specific Tula content. It was a thing that bugged me about the 80th anniversary Aquaman book is that was really no Tula.
So, Anne, what did you find?
Yeah, she has a story called Girls Night Out in Aquaman Deep Dives number 7. Where she teams up with Mara to do some fun shit. And that's about all I've gathered right now.
I like that.
I do think she plays a pretty solid role in that Mara series, which is good because Orm also features pretty heavily in that series, and making her his half-brother gives them a really interesting dynamic that wasn't there pre-New 52. And it's one of those things I wish they would expand upon, because Orm himself is one of those villains that they could do so many cool things with, but they decided to just keep reversing his character and sending him back to like the status quo instead of evolving him, which isn't fun. But there's so many things, so much potential specifically with him and Tula that just hasn't been played out.
And it's funny too, because I feel like when they do things where it's like, and this person is like maybe related to Batman, I go like, all right. But for some reason, like, I don't roll my eyes when they make these like actual like familial connections with Aquaman. And maybe it's because like in the real world, monarchies are like lousy with like bastard children and stuff like that. And so it kind of like, it feels like a totally natural thing to be like, yeah, and King Orvax like slept around. And so you also have a half sister over here. And
yeah, when he went to the trench, he went in the trench.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
That's going to be a fun story. That's a messed up kid.
Yeah. Those fucking fish face. Get out of here. So what is Tula's like deal? Like, does she have any specific like powers that are unique or?
I think depending on the version, she has some like limited kind of like sorcery, aquakinesis, kind of like Garth. She's obviously Atlantean, breathe underwater. She has all of like the strength, etc. stuff that comes with being Atlantean.
She might have those powers in Young Justice.
Yeah, in Young Justice, they definitely tie her in with like the magic kind of powers.
Kind of thing?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
But not to the level like Mira would have.
No, I mean Mira is like god tier.
Yes,
but yeah. Just I just want more Tula. I just feel like Tula's a character that probably showed up in like the 60s, and then like you could probably count like 50 appearances of Tula, like of any real significance where she has something to say or whatever. So yeah. You hear me, DC execs?
All right, let's go to the next question.
Sure.
From Hee-haw Braydon, yes, the donkey rises, asks, what is the story of Orm's father, King Orvax?
Yeah. Do you want to take this one? And I think Orvax is like a new 52 creation. Basically.
I believe so as well. I don't think Orm's fatherhood before the new 52 is so scattered for both Aquaman and Orm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure
at one point it was Atlan, I think.
Yeah. Arthur's dad was like sorcerer, and it was weird. Yeah. But yeah, he was a new 52 creation. Actually didn't appear until issue 36, it looks like. And
oh shit.
It's like first issue of appearance 36, issue of death at 39. So he wasn't around long. All we know is he's just a real bastard of a man, and that he is the person who made Orm who he was. He's the, real tough guy who's like, you have to be king. Yeah. Surface dwellers are bad. Everything your mom says is bullshit, and you need to trust me. And that's why Orm's a giant pain in the butt.
Yeah, and as I recall too, Orvax is like, I mean, Atlanteans in general, very sort of xenophobic, very kind of untrusting of the surface. They're somewhat right to be. But Orvax was like so vehemently that way that even for Atlanteans it was off-putting. Like even they didn't like how aggressive he was. Like he would like routinely go and like sink ships and like kind of do stuff on the surface because he hated the surface so much. Yeah, and even Atlanteans were like, that's a lot. And Atlanta kills him, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, she stabs him to the chest.
Yeah.
Yikes.
They mention Orvax just very offhand in the Aquaman movie, which obviously is really New 52 riffy. But yeah, and put it right, which is when you think of all of those kind of things about Orm, why is he the type of king that he is? Why, what are the things he believes in that? Go like, imagine who must have raised him.
Yes.
And imagine that Orm is a somehow more delicate version of that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that answers that fucking question. Yeah. Jeez.
Also, Philanderer, because Tula is Orm's half sister, because King Orvax had a side piece. Or sorry, I was gonna try and make a fish and chips joke, like a side of chips or something, but because it's Atlantis, but I couldn't get there.
You know where his tartar sauce went.
Jesus.
All right. Next question comes from Le Diable Blanc, who asks, is there any specific reason why the monarchy is so deeply rooted in Atlantis? Was there ever a push for democracy or any other political system? In your opinion, is Aquaman a good ruler?
Oh, wow. So kind of two separate questions there. Mm-hmm. The first most obvious thing is like currently right now.
Yes.
Mira has somewhat dissolved the monarchy of Atlantis, sort of working towards a more democratic society. But generally, it's usually a pretty intense monarchy. Although there do seem to be a lot of kind of like weird rules and like loopholes and shit where it's like a random council could vote the king out, but not the people. Like there's a lot of that kind of shit.
Yeah. And also like apparently there's magical systems in play where the king isn't of blood descent from like the original rulers of Atlantis, the city can kick them out on its own, which was a plot thread explored a little bit in the New 52, which was very interesting. And also there's the rebirth stuff. They were having like the Santa Claus movies, they're having that happen where it's like, you actually have to get married if you want to be king, or else we're going to kick you out. And
well, we know
a little bit about that.
Last year we read like an old 60s
the
Aquaman special or whatever.
The wedding of Aquaman.
It's when he and Mira get married, and in that issue it's like exactly that. And they're like, you got to marry someone of like royal descent, pick one of these. And it takes him to the end of the issue to be like, wait a minute, I'm the king, I could change the rules, I can marry whoever I want.
So funny.
Which is pretty
funny.
I
love the idea that it was set up like a Lord Farquaad thing, where it's like, pick one of these princesses. Princess number 1. Princess number
2. Yeah, totally. Okay, the bigger second question. Is Arthur a good ruler? Is he a good king?
He's like a distant father, isn't he? Like,
he's got good intentions, but his attention is split. It leads to, wanting the surface and Atlantis to be united is good, but when he spends so much time on the surface, it feels like he's biased sometimes, and his people feel that.
Yeah, and I mean, they're very like quick to judgment, too quick to judgment, but their impulse isn't wrong. Like in his, he's also trying to push. I mean, you have to push forward for a society or whatever. And if you're in a position to do it, you have to do that. But he is arguably pushing Atlanteans beyond so far beyond their level of comfort. Like some of them are so distrustful of the surface, like they don't even know like what surface people look like or do. You know what I mean?
They got big claws, and
he's like, we should open a theme park. We can man it. The surface can come and hang out. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like maybe we should like baby step this a little bit. And I think he's a little maybe too.
We'll make a theme park, and the surface will pay for it.
I think he just wants it to happen too much. And I would argue that he is not that good of a king. I think he's a good person, but I don't think he's a good king. I think Mira is definitively a better ruler than he is, and even more so by recognizing that the monarchy is sort of like toxic for Atlantis in general. But even just if you kept that in place, I think Mira has a better and more inherent respect and understanding for like some of the like the tradition or the rules or like how to, that thing where you read like when you read like Shogun or something where it's like there are like rules in the society, but you can loophole them to get the way you want. I think she can play that chess game better than Arthur can. He just goes like, that's bullshit, I'm going to do it my way. And they go, you're out. Like, I think he's more antagonistic than she is that way.
Yeah, for sure. I like that the surface is like his Mar-a-Lago, and he's just like constantly there.
I don't know why you keep trying to go to the Trump.
I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of parallels.
I don't think you are.
Yeah.
I'm becoming increasingly concerned.
You're the one who's a fan of him. I don't know. What's that say about you?
Fan of Aquaman. I'm going to be very clear here.
Oh, weird. You're changing your mind? All right. Let's go to the next question. From Jake O'Lantern. Oh, that's cute. How festive.
Yeah, but it's November 1st when we're recording this, so...
Yeah, fucking change your name.
All pumpkins are dead.
By royal decree.
Yeah, the next question comes from the rotting corpse of Jake O'Lantern.
Oh my God.
Melting into the cement. Who asks, I get full-blood Atlanteans and Atlantean hybrids don't prune or get wrinkly in the salt water. But what about freshwater?
Oh my gosh. Now we're getting into some really, really hardcore like kidney shit. And as a biologist, I just gotta say, I don't know.
Those fucking mud-blood Atlanteans.
Someone might light me up in the comments, but I'm pretty sure they have not explored the idea of freshwater Atlanteans as like distinct. Have they?
No. They're just like, they can breathe under any water, which does raise a lot of questions. The filtration system that Atlanteans must have is huge, but I'll pretend like comics give a shit about biology for 2 seconds. Because we never get that. We get like one look at Atlanteans in the New 52 where they're like, oh, they actually have gill slots, and then you never see them again for the rest of time.
Yes.
I think that they're just descendant of eels. That's the key.
Yeah, I mean, there are animals that can go back and forth. I don't know what that biological process is, but there are animals that can do both, right?
Yep, it just needs a different process to manage the salt levels to make sure you don't lose water the saltier the water is. So, like bull sharks can move independently from saltwater to freshwater without issue. So it's possible, and that's probably a system similar to what Atlanteans have, assuming it's biological and not magical.
Well, see, this is the other interesting thing with Atlanteans is that some things sometimes are biological, like the gill idea or things like that. And then other times it's just like, Atlantis is magic, end of story. So it's like, and also like, did the magic make a biological thing, or are you biologically attuned to magic? Or like, there's so many weird comic kind of gray areas with Atlanteans.
Yeah.
I think it would, I know I'm clinking this too much, but it was your fault for putting ice in. I think it would be fun if only as a joke kind of thing, or in like a small story in an anthology. It would be really fun to find some sort of like lost, landlocked freshwater sect of Atlanteans, the way that now there's like that third group of Amazons in Brazil, in like the actual Amazon jungle. I think it would be fun to like find the freshwater Atlanteans.
And like eels, they also don't have reproductive organs.
You're so creeped out by eels.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
fucking weird. They go to the fucking Bermuda Triangle to only reproduce. It's fucking weird. Eels are weird.
Is that true?
Yes.
That they go to the
You're a biologist, right?
Depends on the eel.
Heard that before.
That's fair. Yeah, I assume they don't prune in freshwater. To answer the question,
do they prune on land? Like
that would reverse?
Be funny. They used to. They definitely do in Smallville.
It would be funny if, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Actually,
yeah. He got strapped to that table like 3 times.
Yeah, I think it would be funny too if they did they do this with the no, they didn't do this with the trench. It'd be funny too if they were like, we're used to like the pressure of the ocean. If we spend too much time on land, they just like slowly bloat. That would be because like their internal pressure is too great.
That's very funny. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question from Luke, who asks, what is the current explanation for why Jackson and his mom have aquakinetic powers in the comics? And what about his electric eel tattoos? The eels are back!
Oh, God. So, just quick primer before I turn this over. So, Jackson Hyde is the new Aquaman, second Aqua lad.
Sure.
His mother is Zebellian, like from Zebel, like Mira.
Okay.
His father is Black Manta.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm pretty sure the current explanation for his powers is the fact that he is Zebellian.
That may make sense.
I don't think all Zebellians have the Aquakinesis.
Hashtag not all Zebellians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, from what I understand, that's about it, because the last time I read about Jackson's origin was pre-New 52 and Brightest Day. But that's been shifted a little bit. Like, he actually knows his Zebellian mother now.
Yeah.
And she's actually around reading Aquaman the Becoming. She's actually going to have a fairly substantial role. So I'm excited to see where that comes from. And for the person asking the question, definitely check that series out.
Yeah.
Because 1, it's amazing. 2, I'm sure all those answers are going to get those questions are going to get some pretty good answers.
Yeah. And the electric eel thing is like, there is a sort of bioelectric component. You see it used a lot in Young Justice.
Oh, really?
The version of the character on Young Justice is called Calderon, but you see that kind of like the way Miles Morales also has a bioelectric kind of thing. That's also like a component of that power, but it's sort of like magic based. And I guess where I get confused is where the Aquakinesis sort of sits, because not all Zebellians have it. Mira is obviously exceptionally powerful. It's slightly magical, but sometimes it's described more like a meta ability.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be interesting to like get like a more, as much as you could get a quote unquote definitive answer, it'd be interesting to get more sort of clarity on why, Jackson has that. Who in Zebel has that? Are they all quote unquote highborn, or is it something just different, just like a different like random gene or something? I'd be curious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they talk maybe a little bit about it, but I believe it's so special to Zebellians because they need that Aquakinesis to get out of Zebel because of that magical force field that's around it.
Yeah.
And Zebel is such a unique place in and of itself because it's basically underwater Australia, because it started as like a penal colony.
Yeah.
And that's why they resent Atlantis so much. And it's just one of those places I want to know what the culture there is like and how it's different from Atlantis.
Yeah. It's underwater Australia is good. Yeah, it's true, because that's where Mira comes from, and initially she is like the only one that they managed to get out of the force field, out of Zebel, and her like mission is kill the king of Atlantis.
Whoa.
But then she falls in love, and then that doesn't happen. But yeah, she's from there, and they're basically, or had been, imprisoned there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. Oh, I think it is in the Bermuda Triangle, so
yes,
maybe that's your eel connection again.
Holy shit, there it is.
It all comes full circle.
Just like an eel can.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Mosaic Comics.
All right.
Who asks, did Mira's time as a Red Lantern have any long-term effect on her character? And if Atrocitus decided he wanted to bring her back into the fold, could Atlantis repel an invasion by the Red Lantern Corps?
Ooh. What did you think of Mira as a Red Lantern in Blackest Night?
Does that add up to me? I don't know.
Her?
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely adds. I mean, if you're going to pick, I mean, the other core could work for her too, but like Red doesn't not make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have to think about the context of the time too. She had just lost her husband after finally getting him back after so long, because they lost their child. Child was murdered, drowned by Black Manta. If you can believe that, that's what happened.
Yes.
And
the water child died?
They drowned him with air. That's how Black Manta killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah. I have that issue.
That made her that caused Mara to break down. She left Arthur for a while. They finally got back together, and then Arthur got turned into this Davy Jones squid creature. Comics.
Ooh, interesting relationship.
And he died, and then Blackest Night, she lost them, and then she watched Garth die in front of her, who is probably, like basically another son to her.
Yeah.
So when
maybe she's the problem.
Wow.
I'm making some connections. I'm just saying.
People seem to die around here.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, when the ring took her, she was definitely in a state. I don't know if she would be there again, because she's pretty set right now. She's got Andy, she's got Arthur, she's got Jackson. She's in a good place right now. I don't think the red ring would come for her again.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and attack the second half of this question. I think Atlantis would hand Red Lanterns their asses.
Really?
Atlantis is like a giant kingdom full of trained soldiers, many of whom are empowered by magic or at the very least crazy sophisticated technology. The Red Lanterns are at best a rabble of like chaos bringing like mouth breathers. It's not even a contest to me. It's like It's like putting like 6 rabid wolves against SEAL Team 6 or something like that. Like it's nothing. I think Atlantis crushes them.
Wow. Okay.
I guess unless there's some process by which the Red Lanterns can move the battle not to the water.
Yeah, because what's their napalm breath going to do underwater?
Yeah, I mean, there's lava underwater and stuff. Like I think maybe that's the qualifying thing. If they attack Atlantis, Atlantis easily takes it. If for some reason this battle is happening elsewhere, it maybe slightly evens it a bit. I might still give it to Atlantis. They're like the future. They have like crazy technology and like
it's like Wakanda.
Yeah, and they have like bioships and like all sorts of crazy shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And most of the Red Lanterns are kind of mindless unless they went through that like blood ritual.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not exactly like a well-oiled like fighting force, you know?
Sure. That makes sense. Okay. Let's go to the next question from Greg Fine.
Ooh, Greg Fine.
Greg Fine, who asks, hey, can you please explain the difference between Arthur Curry, Arthur Joseph Curry, and Orin? And which one was raised by dolphins?
I'm so upset this question came up because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to have to explain this.
Clearly, you don't listen to this podcast.
It's always the questions you don't want.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Arthur Curry is like base Aquaman. He's like the one you probably know and love. He's, Super Friends Aquaman. He's New 52 Aquaman. That's him most of the time.
Sure.
Orin is either Young Justice Aquaman or it's going to be the 90s Hook Hand Aquaman when he thought his dad was Magic Wizard Dude.
Yeah.
And he like rejected his human name and is like, I'm actually named Orin. I'm edgy now. Please.
Yeah.
I think I have that book.
You do have some of that series. Yeah. That's
And then do you want to cover Richard,
sure.
Arthur Joseph Curry? Because my God.
So Anne already brought up that there was a moment where Arthur, like Aquaman, the main one, the one we know, becomes a sort of Davy Jonesy monster. And it's that he like sacrifices his soul to like some sea gods or shit for like crazy power. But what it does is it like completely like renders his mind like insane and shit like that. But he becomes this thing called the Dweller in the Depths, this sort of tentacle-y kind of creature. And he meets this Arthur Joseph Curry. And Aquaman is misremembering his past and believing it to be prophecy. So he meets this person and he's like, Arthur Curry, you should be Aquaman. He's like, it's a prophecy. Go do it. And he's like, I'll help you out. And eventually, it's not initially what is revealed, but eventually what's revealed is that Arthur Joseph Curry is like distantly related, but also has a fragment of Arthur's soul in him. Like, so he is spiritually and genetically connected to the original Aquaman, but he ends up getting kind of mentored by this Dweller in the Deep and by King Shark, who are part of the supporting cast for Arthur Joseph Curry. I think Arthur Joseph Curry he does get killed. I can't remember by whom offhand, but yeah. No, so I thought I remembered who killed him, and then I realized that person kills the original Aquaman. But yeah, that's Arthur Joseph Curry. He was Aquaman for a bit. We're talking post Infinite Crisis, post Sub Diego kind of era. And that's why, and then Arthur dies in that time too, even as that monster. And then that's why he's dead by the time we get to Blackest Night. But Arthur Joseph Curry is also dead by then.
So Arthur Curry is the one that was raised by dolphins.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the sort of retcon from the 90s, that Peter David series. I think his dolphin mother's name is Porm.
Yep.
And yeah, he's raised by dolphins. He like lives with the Inuit for a bit. It's like he's a very kind of like nomad sort of figure in that series.
Yeah, and he had a half son too, which was cool.
That's right. Yeah, he had I guess
full son.
Yeah, full. Yeah,
half son. It's been a day. I'm thinking about Arthur Joseph Curry. It's not a good day.
Yeah, I would say Arthur Joseph Curry is like a weird, mostly forgettable side of the thing. I don't think he even joins the Justice League.
Oh.
I think Batman at one point is like, I'll put him on the Outsiders, and then he's like, no. Like
literally like 2 issues.
Yeah.
Just for the record, his first like Flash appearance was like at the end of Infinite Crisis. And then his last appearance is Final Crisis #7. So he disappeared between those 2 crises.
He was
not here for
not a super effective Aquaman.
Did you see that sex tape with Orm? Or as I like to call it, Porm?
Do I laugh?
That's his mother. How dare you? Get her name out of your mouth.
So funny. Okay.
It is true that Dolphin thing, I mean, it's both. I kind of get it. Like, I don't hate it.
It's a Raised by Wolves thing, right?
I don't hate it as an idea, but something about the execution, maybe it's because it's dolphins and not wolves, it does end up or maybe it's because they literally have conversations with each other with dialogue bubbles and shit. Maybe like something about it is just a hair too silly. And it's like that's the hook hand Aquaman era. So he looks like this gladiator badass, and then he's like, my dolphin brother.
like if it was sharks instead, it would have been better.
Yeah, there's something about it that's like almost too funny.
Yeah, the only thing worse would have been seahorses.
Oh god, that would have been good. Oh, I would have loved that.
I know you would have.
Oh god. DC execs.
My equine brothers.
I want the universe where he was raised by mantis shrimp. That's my dream.
It would be funny to like see like because raised by dolphins, that's close enough to like maybe the way someone human shaped would swim. But if he's raised by shrimp or seahorses, just see him go doing like crunches in the water to move because that's how they taught him how to swim. It would be really, really funny.
Or just like crabs, like
yeah, he can only move sideways. He's got incredible hip flexor muscles.
Yeah,
he's just doing this.
All
that's
right.
amazing.
Next question.
Call us.
Yes, obviously. Oh, the email's already in the box. Next question comes from Kyle, who asks, "Who is the Aqua Chad of the Aqua Lads?"
Wait, is Chad? Chad is the. I'm too old for this meme. A Chad is like a bro, like a douchebag.
Yeah.
I guess of the two of them, it's Garth,
right?
Yeah,
because Jackson is pretty chill, like pretty cool, pretty like just generally caring and compassionate. And that Garth has always been kind of a hothead. At one point, he literally steals Aquaman's girlfriend.
Wow!
Like Dolphin leaves Aquaman for Aqualad.
With a dolphin?
Her name is Dolphin, not Dolphin. Sorry, I know.
Please clarify.
Yeah, sorry, correct.
It's like, wait, hold on. He's really putting that blowhole to good use. Like,
yes, sorry. I should clarify. We were just talking about real Dolphin. Now I'm talking about a character Dolphin who is Atlantean. She has like kind of bioluminescent powers and stuff like that. She is with Aquaman for a bit and then leaves him for Aqualad, for Garth.
Dolphin also beat
that's
Rocky.
a pretty Chad move, is to steal your teacher's girl, I guess.
What kind of school did you go to?
Like I would have been the Chad.
No, I wasn't saying you were.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying you saw it happen.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
who's the Aqua Carl?
What does that mean?
I don't know. You came up
What's
with
the opposite of the Chad? I'm actually legit. Like I mean it. I'm too old for this meme.
Because remember the other day
you call the person that's not the Chad?
Because you said that the Karen was the male Karen was a Carl.
A male Karen is a Carl.
So who's the Aqua Carl?
No, but what's the opposite of a Chad? What is the name of the nice guy trope?
I don't think they don't name that guy.
Don't they?
Nobody names that guy.
Oh, I thought that was the point of the meme.
I think it's like the Chad versus the Virgin.
Oh,
yeah, that's the opposite.
I mean, I don't think
I like that you have to be a dick to get laid.
I don't think. I mean, I don't mean literally, but I don't think Jackson Hyde gives off virgin energy. Like I think Jackson fucks, but
and with a name like that,
it's a cool name.
Yeah.
and he's got cool ass hair, and he's got dope powers, and he's the new Aquaman, and it's awesome.
Yeah, he'll get the job done.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to means we're leaving Twitter and we're heading on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question, and only question from Instagram, comes from Cursed Blob, who asks...
That's what Aquaman was when he was the Davy Jones.
Oh, no.
He's a cursed blob at the bottom of the sea.
That's what happens when the king's father had sex with somebody from the trench.
Cursed blob.
Yeah.
It's the frog thing from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter.
You know, that concept gets worse and worse when you remember the Trench Queen is like Godzilla sized.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Crush me.
Okay, you were talking about getting a DC Comics pinup tattoo. I will pay for it if you get the Trench Queen.
Oh, I would 100% do that. I'm going to get it my entire back, though, so you have to pay like $1,000.
I'll do it if you do
it. Don't fucking threaten me with a good time. I actually don't know what she looks like. I'm going to regret this. All right. Cursed Blob asks, what's the distinction between Jackson Hyde and Calderon? I always get so confused.
Right.
Well, very specifically, Calderon is the version from Young Justice, from that Earth, whatever designation they want to give it. That is Calderon. Jackson Hyde is any version of him from the comics. And the main thing that separates them character-wise is Jackson grew up on land. In both of his origins, he grew up on land, found out about his, parentage fairly early on, and joined the Teen Titans, and became Aqualad to Aquaman that way. He became Aqualad eventually. The one in the comics grew up in Atlantis, had no idea about his parentage until he was already Aqualad, and I think their powers are slightly different, because like you said, the Calderon in Young Justice does have like a little bit of electric abilities, but Jackson Hyde doesn't share that. He just has the Aquakinesis.
Yeah, and in Young Justice, it's more like that's all like sorcery too, like Calderon and Garth and Tula and Mira. All of those powers are like sorcery powers, whereas Jackson, there's a little bit of like it's a kind of genetic ability a little bit.
Yeah, because in Young Justice, she's like saying like you have to learn how to master the sorcery, but it's never referenced that way in the comics. And in the comics, he does have electrokinesis. I misspoke.
And also, I'd say about 90% sure Calderon actually existed first. The Young Justice version of the character actually debuted before Jackson in the comics. I might eat my hat here.
I'll check it out.
I'm about 90% sure that's the order of it. And it might just be about like that they kind of created them at the same time, but one aired first or something like that. But I'm pretty sure Calderon precedes Jackson Hyde.
It's close. It's real close. Young Justice release date was November 26, 2010. Brightest Day started publishing in May of 2010. So I think Jackson might have come first, but just by a couple months.
But are they essentially the same character?
They are basically conceptually the same character, but across those different medium, they just have different names because their origins are different. Like Calderon is like an Atlantean name because that's where he grew up, whereas Jackson is named Jackson Hyde because he grew up in the surface. So that's why they're different. But they have fun fact though, Calderon, that name is a deeper reference to an old character called Calvin Durham, who is like. He was like a Black Manta, like a mercenary who betrays Black Manta and joins the Atlanteans. So it's like a little in reference to an old character from the comics. They don't share really anything about them. It's just a little name Easter egg. But Calderon is a reference to Cal Durham.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't even know that. And I just Googled it, and Cal Durham is actually a character in Young Justice too. So
oh shit,
cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's pretty cool.
So we just met you. This is crazy.
Come on.
But here's Young Justice Calderon me.
You're so proud of yourself.
As I should be.
That embarrassed me more than singing the Instagram song.
then my work here is done. All right.
I liked it.
Thanks. See, yeah. Love Anne. All right, let's leave Instagram and head on over to the doc phone.
The doc phone?
The doc phone.
Whoa.
We got a phone call. We got a message.
All right.
Let's a very long voicemail. Let's hear
Jesus.
it.
Okay.
Hey, Doctor. Hey, Richard. It's Ryan Putney. I know I already sent in another voicemail, but that one sucked. So hopefully you deleted that one, and we'll just use this one instead. But I heard you guys saying that I was nasty in the Scarecrow episode, which, by the way, I absolutely loved your guys' answers and would be totally down for that, for the Scarecrow to learn magic. Oh, yeah. Maybe get an encounter with a Dean Winchester and a Sam Winchester, if you know what I'm saying. Anywho, I'm submitting a question for the Aquafamily episode. And the whole reason why I am resubmitting this voicemail is because I couldn't remember one other part of my question that I had. But first, back to my first question that I originally asked in the previous voicemail was, do you think Arthur and Mara are due to have another baby and get down and get nasty to have another aqua baby? You know, better the wetter, or wetter the better. Hashtag wetter the better. But yeah, do you think it's time for them to have another child together, and this one preferably not be killed? And then for my second question that I finally remembered, I want your opinion on the Aqualad known, specifically Calderon, the Aqualad who is in popularly in Young Justice. What has he recently been up to? And I think maybe you've probably answered this question before, but where does he rank as far as the other Aqualads? And how come, you know, for probably maybe, I guess, a novice compared to you guys with me, but where does he, you know, how come I haven't really seen or heard of him until Young Justice? Could you maybe explain that? Anyway, I love you guys. Stay the nasty way that you are, and have a wonderful day. Love you. Go Dr. DC Podcast.
And that's our time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
Let's
something.
That was like fucking Venus Flytrap. It's a WKRP in Cincinnati reference.
Oh,
for people at home.
yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, I have a question. Call me now for the question.
for your free psychic reading.
Okay. There's a lot in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's just go in order. Question number 1. When are they going to fuck again?
When are they gonna produce a child? You don't have to fuck, just like, you can not have a kid after having sex.
No, no.
I mean, not with maybe super sperm over here, but
yeah, when are they going to have another kid? Or will they have another kid?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you want to see them have like a bigger sort of like nuclear family? They obviously, like lots of superheroes, have this sort of big adoptive family, but would you want to see them have more kids?
sure.
Sans, I'm not sure if the color knows that Andy exists, but I would definitely say check out Future State Aquaman 1 and 2 and check out the kid they do have, because she's kicking ass, and I want to see her grow up first before we get another kid. Because it's like I've already got one Aqua kid who I'm like sitting here tapping my foot waiting to get to grow up and do cool shit. I don't want to have to wait on another one. Plus their track record with kids isn't that great so far. They're 1-1. So
yeah. I think I agree in general that I want to see more of Andy Curry before we get another one in there. That my only like but to that would be if in the meantime they have another one and then there's like kind of a little sibling kind of relationship in there too, plus the sort of like older sibling pseudo parental thing we got from Future State, where Jackson is a mentor and stuff for them. I'd be okay with that, but the short version is like I want to see more of what already exists.
And they do have that brother-sister relationship, because she does call him brother.
Yeah.
And I want to see that relationship develop before we get that other one in there. Because we already have so few time given to the side characters in the Aqua family.
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to get the wetter the better out of my head.
Don't think about it. Just don't think about zebras.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it in like a hot tub, but I guess we're not Atlantean, so
yeah, I think it's different. They probably like biologically
it's
evolved.
different. Yeah,
you don't have to worry about air bubbles the same way.
Jesus, I'm not a biologist. What am I, a biologist? What was the second part? I got hung up on the fucking thing.
Asking about Jackson and about what he's up to right now.
Oh, right. About Calder. Yes. Mm-hmm. So like we said, the reason you haven't seen him other than in Young Justice is that he only exists in Young Justice. But the part of that question that I thought was interesting is like, where do you rank Calderon, like that version, among just let's expand it beyond just Aqua lads to include the Aqua girls. You know, there's Tula, she was Aqua girl. Lorena Marquez was Aqua girl. There's like, of the sort of Aqua sidekicks, Aqua, whatever. Where do you rank Calderon? Is he like a favorite? Is he further down the list?
For me personally, I think Calderon is a bit further down my list than Jackson Hyde is. Because especially this year, I've really grown attached to Jackson.
Right.
And getting to see his journey to becoming Aquaman has been really cool, really great to see in the comics. And if you want more Calderon, I'd say that's the best place to go. Besides, Young Justice Season 4, which is premiering right now.
Right.
So he's not bottom tier. I think he's above Garth.
Yeah. I mean, certainly of all of like the original sidekicks, I think Garth is like the top, the lowest of them.
The lowest.
I mean, think of the other characters he's up against: Donna Troy, Wally West, Dick Grayson. Yeah. Of the original sidekicks, you're like, I'm sorry, Garth. It's almost like by default you're the bottom. Like,
I've been there.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Jackson is just overtaking Calder for me, like now, like because of Future State and because of Aquaman: The Becoming. I think before those, I might have given it to Calder as like my favorite Aqualad.
Oh yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
But I think he's being overtaken right now. I still think Calder's really cool though, and it's neat that like even in season 3 of Young Justice, he got to be Aquaman and stuff like that. Like there's a cool arc for him that's really fleshed out, and it's definitely like an interesting character. The thing that I kind of like about him on Young Justice, because he's Atlantean, you get to play the sort of like the Spock of him. Not that he's emotionless, but that there is a kind of, the way he talks is a little different. There's a little culture difference thing. Mm-hmm. It's the way sometimes you would also portray like a Martian Manhunter or whatever. It's not that they don't get how the surface works. It's not like Crocodile Dundee or something like that, but there is...
That's not a fork. This is a fork.
But there is a little bit of like a distance to like how they emotionally react or something like that. It's kind of a neat dynamic, especially considering that they are Young Justice. They're all almost by nature like more kind of hot-headed or, quick to action. If it's not anger, it's, well, we got to do this. Like they're especially when they start out, they're teens, they overreact. And Calder is always A, a little older than them, and B, a little more removed, a little more careful. And I think that's interesting.
Speaking of like underwater Australia, and now I want to get a version that's like from like Australia that like comes and is like,
you want
Crocodile Dundee, but underwater. Comes to Atlantis and it's just like, what's all this about?
I mean, other than the odd time that Justice Leaguers have to go to Atlantis for some reason, we don't see a ton of surface dwellers going to Atlantis. It does happen. You get characters like the Sea Devils or shit like that, but it would be neat to see more of like the formal exchange program kind of thing where it's like
even just between the like 7 seas. Like,
I mean, they make a reference to it on The Flash of all shows. Is just like tourism.
Yeah.
Atlantis is a nation.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they're like a xenophobic country, or yeah, it's a little dangerous, but like there are dangerous nations all over our world and we could go to them.
There's
So
a
it's
very big one that seems to be clearly xenophobic.
well, yeah. But like why aren't there Atlantean tourists? Like we should see a scene of like a bunch of people getting off a turtle and they're going like, on your left there's a like I think that'd be funny.
Like
Just a
turtle
bunch of
tours of
people-
Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Like just a bunch of people with like helmets on and shit like that. And they're like, over here is the Science Guild. And they like
I also just want to see what the like border crossing is like. Like, do you have anything to declare?
they actually have weirdly that's in the Aquaman movie. You see like Atlantean customs.
I mean, yes,
in that
true,
movie,
yes. That is
which
true.
is crazy.
I love that. All right, let's leave the doc phone and head on over to the doc scored.
Oh shoot.
Doc scored, go now.
Docs McLusa scored and Doc scored.
Wow, you haven't done that one.
I don't think I have. I think that is actually a new song.
Blue Jean Doc scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Have you heard whatever that new song is? That's Elton John and Dua Lipa, but it like samples Tiny Dancer.
No, but that sounds great.
I both like it and dislike it.
You just like what it's doing?
I dislike how it's using Tiny Dancer, but it also kind of fucks.
Yeah, of course it does. Elton John still slaps, and Dua Lipa.
Yeah, love her.
Dua Lipa make a hit for you. All right. First question on the doc scored comes from Robert Battenhor, who asks, which version of Aquaman? Momoa, Hook Hand, New 52, Silver Age, or any of the others you can think of, would you pay for if they had an OnlyFins?
God damn it.
No.
Only Fins.
Oh,
God
I
damn it.
love our residents.
I mean, Momoa's an obvious one, I think.
Obviously, yeah.
Are there any like sleeper other non-Momoa versions that you'd be like,
I mean, also, fuck that, Mira.
oh
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I got you beat. I got this. I got the good
Oh,
answer.
okay.
All
Tell
right.
me.
I'm Aqua Woman from Earth 11.
Oh,
Done.
oh,
That
yes.
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus. Earth
We're
11.
there.
Earth 11 is the gender flipped Earth.
Oh,
Aquawoman, she's a member of the Justice League Incarnate, like the multiversal Justice League. Yeah, 100%.
hold on.
I would kill everyone I know and then myself to get on that that OnlyFins account.
OnlyFins.
You this one?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, that one definitely wins. I'm going to throw a weird one
Good
in
God.
there. The proviso being he can't talk because when he talks, it'll ruin it. The one from Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh my god.
On the show, he's very kind of silly. He says like outrageous, and he's like kind of this big, almost Shakespearean kind of
Sure, yeah.
character, but he's built like a fucking truck. So I'm gonna throw him in there.
Nice.
Can you think of any other version of Aquaman you've seen, Richard, that is not
Oh yeah,
one of
he's
the
built
ones
like a
named
brick
so
shit
far?
house. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, yeah. You could sit on my face.
Jesus?
Oh, I mean, who's that one from Smallville? He
Oh,
was-
the guy that plays Hawk.
Yeah, he
on,
was a
Titans?
snack.
Yeah, that's fair. Smallville. Yeah. Smallville
Good
Aquaman
choice.
could get it. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
choice.
I have questions for the person that picks Super Friends Aquaman as the one though. I need to talk to you.
Yeah,
We need to have a conversation.
yeah, I agree.
Is that the one that rides like the two dolphins though?
They're like seahorses or something.
Oh
but
yes,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move to the next question from Butt Fart Butt.
Beautiful.
Back to the classic name.
Yeah, I went back.
Yeah. Who asks, has Merc ever smiled?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about Merc.
Has he ever smiled? That's a good question. Merc is one of the members of either the Drift or the King's Guard, and he was in the Aquaman movie, but he was very forgettable. He's the guy who shoved his head into the toilet.
Oh,
yeah. But in the comics, he's basically hook hand Aquaman. But in the modern Erics, he does have a hook hand. He's got the snarly like pirate face where he's got like one eye always closed. He's got barnacles growing on his face.
It's different because he's a soldier, but I would argue he's kind of like Aquaman's Harvey Bullock.
Whoa,
that's a good way to put it.
He's kind of like, sometimes he's like, God damn it, Aquaman, there is a way to do things and you're wrong. Like he's not always just on Aquaman's side.
Yeah.
But he's very salty, very rough, very gruff, but does his job, has a code that he believes in. Like,
he's like, you're the king, so I'm gonna obey you, but like I don't agree with everything.
I think he's like a Bullock type.
I like that.
But has he ever smiled? Almost certainly. Mm-hmm. But can I name it? Can I think of when it happened? No.
It seems like a fun, like animated series kind of thing to do.
It's one of those things where it would be like, that would be like a moment, right?
Yeah.
Like the moment where it's like, you and me, I guess we understand each other. Like, it'd be like that sort of thing.
You and I, we're not so different.
Aquaman probably stubbed his toe once, and I'm sure that did it.
Yeah.
Just see like a creep little smile come across his face. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's Merc.
Okay.
I kind of hope they give Merc more to do in the next Aquaman movie. Because he's a cool character in the comics, but yeah, he's like barely in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I found a panel. I got it. He smiled once.
Okay. Do we know what the context was, or just we have confirmed that he did do it?
The context is when he went to go visit SWAT, the Atlantean who can't breathe underwater.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're just like looking around his apartment, and he's like really amused that he has so much surface shit. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's just a smirk. That's all we get, but it's enough.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Damn it, you beat me to it, son of a bitch. I was waiting for my opening. Shit.
I would pay good money for that cover.
Wouldn't you say that this shit's complete, Jesus?
But it has to be Merc trying earnestly to sing it, but he can't sing it. Look at this stuff.
Isn't it neat?
I like that.
That's very funny. All right, next question comes from We've Only Just Dan, who asks, please talk about Koryak. How would you reintroduce him into current continuity?
Ooh.
Who would be best to handle the story?
So Koryak, Anne mentioned before, the half son, quote unquote, in the 90s, when Aquaman was raised by dolphins, he also spent time among the Inuit, and he has a kid with an Inuit woman, and that's who Koryak is. And Koryak ends up like hating Aquaman because he's never around, and like, and he gets sort of, I hate to use the word, but like radicalized. Koryak actually is the one that kills Aquaman eventually. Aquaman he becomes that monster, that dweller in the deep, and the thing that kills the dweller is Koryak. Although I think at the time you don't know that, it's like implied later. But yeah,
that's cool.
So Koryak is like a child of Aquaman, but like denied the family or the title or the training or the affection or any of those kind of things.
But has like abilities.
Yeah, he does like this hydrokinesis thing from like his forehead. You know, like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the firebender guy who does the concussions. That's him, but with water.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is Koryak the one that could make like a water spear too?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's just called an icicle.
Do that too. Just let me go out. Go to my fridge.
Okay, so bigger question.
Yep.
I mean, especially now that we're post death metal, It's the sort of anti-crisis thing where everything has at some point happened. Would you want to see the idea of Koryak come back in, and how would you do it?
I think it's definitely, since we're going to be getting that Aquaman title at some point next year, I think it'd be interesting to see how that would shake up the family dynamic they got going, because they have Aquaman, Jackson, and then they have Mara and Andy, and they're like one big happy family. But what happens when Arthur's estranged son just comes walking in? Because that could be potentially upsetting for Mara especially. And
someone who in many ways is very much like Arthur, feels like he doesn't belong, torn between worlds, feels abandoned, all those kind of things. Like,
well, and also for
Aquaman to so thoroughly it's the opposite of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. You kind of have to give Bruce credit that he did not raise Dick to be him.
Yeah.
Because Arthur utterly fails, and Koryak is like a worse version of him. Yeah. All the same kind of shit. You know?
It would be also cool just because it would force Aquaman to look like the one who belongs there.
Yeah, that's true too. Yes, yeah, you're right.
So there's this like really weird dichotomy between like, it's like, oh, I guess like I am more fitting here than he is.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, and they are in a good place right now. So yeah, it would definitely be like a real like stick in the spokes.
Yeah, I like that. High school in the spokes.
Yeah, I'm into that.
And he did like those 5 years of just wandering around and like swashbuckling action hero with the others. So there was opportunity for him to, get his groove on with some random person while he was out. So yeah, you can make it work.
Yeah, totally.
And I think Brandon Thomas is definitely the writer to do it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. # bring back Koryak.
Yeah. Bring back Koryak. That's cute.
I didn't mean for it to rhyme. That was a happy accident.
For it, yeah. All right, next question. Oh, wow. It comes from the titular Dr. DC.
Can't just name yourselves that. That's not how that works.
But it says it. It's right here. It says that this is
must be official.
Yeah, this is the titular Dr. DC. I don't know who the fuck you are.
Oh, I'm fading. Like the picture in Back to the Future.
And they ask, what is the coolest Aquaman moment you can think of? And is it that one in JLA where it's casually mentioned that he's so strong he can lift up a waterfall?
Swim up
a waterfall?
Yeah, he is strong enough to swim up a waterfall. But then again, so are salmon.
Sure, I mean, they were bounce.
You have all the powers of a salmon.
What is the coolest Aquaman moment?
I got a few.
I'm going to throw one out there. Listen.
Hey, what do you call a fish Michael Jackson?
Oh, no.
Simona.
No.
Simona.
I'm going to throw one out from the New 52 because New 52 Aquaman is tight as hell. It's from Throne of Atlantis. Everybody already knows the moment I'm talking about. He beats Orm. Part of the whole thing is that Orm is king of Atlantis. Orm will not give up. And Aquaman does not want the throne, but he knows the only way to stop the war, to win the day, is for him to seize the throne back from Orm and become king of Atlantis again. And he beats Orm, and he punches his helmet off, and he's standing on this rock in the rain, and he's got the trident and shit, and he's just yelling, "I am your king!" It's fucking cool as shit.
That sounds rad.
Like one of the best single pages of all time. That's in my top 10 easily.
It's amazing. It's a pretty cool Aquaman moment.
So, Anne, what do you think?
I'm going to go with one because there's a couple from that Justice League run that are really, really big, but I'm going to go a little later in the New 52 from the Jeff Parker run. There's a moment where he gets launched by an Atlantean cannon several thousand feet in the air, and he brings the world's heaviest aqua punch onto a giant kraken. He punches it from the stratosphere.
Yeah.
It doesn't take it out, so he has to bury his trident in its head and then hammer it through with an I-beam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how he kills it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's cool as hell.
I like that one. There's another one I'll throw out as an honorable mention. That's I can't remember exactly when it happened, but it's Martian Manhunter is fighting Despero, and Aquaman is also there helping to fight. And Despero, obviously, physically super powerful, telepathically super powerful, on par with Martian Manhunter. And Aquaman is like, this isn't really what it's for, but I'm going to help you use my telepathy. And he kind of like stretches what his telepathic power can do to team up like psychically with Martian Manhunter to try and fight Despero. And it's just like a cool different use of his power where he's like, normally this only works on fish and shit, but like I'm gonna like, he's like has to flex a weird muscle to like try and affect Despero. It's kind of neat.
I don't want to eat
He's done that once before too in the JLA run from Morrison, where he actually there's a speedster with that first group of like white Martians. I forget what they were called.
The HyperClan?
Yes, the HyperClan.
Yeah.
And he makes him like seizure out by reaching into like the fish part of his brain.
Yeah.
And then he makes like a bad pun and apologizes for it, but I wish I remember what the pun was.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Can you think of, just from your experience of Aquaman, a badass Aquaman moment that stands out for you?
I like the one where it was a trap.
Admiral Akbar?
Yeah.
How dare you? What about him slowly walking down a pier to like Leonard Cohen?
I mean, God, no. The one good redeeming part of that first movie, the only good
you were
part.
So upset that Icky Thump wasn't in that scene.
It's the only good part from that first one. And it's such like a clear fuck you to that. So to be like, I know this is good, but fuck you.
I kind of love that at every point where it's like, should something here be badass? It's like, no, make it melancholy.
Yeah. So unlike Snyder.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to the last question
Okay.
from Mullet Overlord, who asks, can you give me some detail about the times Aquaman died pre-Flashpoint, because I remember him being dead and replaced around the time of Blackest Night?
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing we were talking about before with Arthur Joseph Curry, the he who must not be named. I wish I could remember how Arthur Joseph Curry died. Do you remember, Anne? Because I do not.
I actually don't think he died. I think he just said, okay, that's it. I'm done.
He just gave up.
I'm gonna go for a swim.
I think he
I'll be
retired.
right back.
That's so much funnier, actually. It'd be, we're talking about bringing Koryak back. In that Aquaman thing that we're building up to, I would not be against having Arthur Joseph Curry show up.
Wow.
That feels like an issue 2, like, final page reveal. Like, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
Aquaman died when he was the Dweller in the Deep. The person that is revealed to be Koryak kills him. And I think he like sublimates into water or something, which then I think they forget about by the time of Blackest Night, because the whole thing of Blackest Night is that Garth wants to like exhume his remains and move them to Atlantis.
Yeah.
But when Arthur died, he is buried undersea and he becomes water. So then the question is, I can't remember if they actually ever address it, but like what happened in between that time that got Arthur's somehow body to land?
Yeah.
And I don't remember.
All right.
But I actually don't think he died that much. Like,
that was it.
I think that's it. It's not like other characters where they die like 6 times, like Donna Troy, or like they die like a bunch of times. Like Aquaman is a weirdly, other than whether or not he was raised by humans or dolphins, he has a weirdly consistent kind of through line. Oh, I forgot a thing. Since we're talking about Arthur Joseph Curry, I forgot a thing that I should bring up. Is that Arthur Joseph Curry, they modeled him a little bit on the Golden Age Aquaman, in that he was not like Atlantean, but like his dad did like an experiment on him, like as a baby, that allowed him to breathe water.
Okay.
And I think it's tied to the same experiments that created Sub Diego. I think it's tied to, what is his name? Professor Geist or Dr. Geist or whatever, that created Sub Diego.
I need to go back and finish that arc. Those were actually some of the first Aquaman issues I bought, because I went in my comic store after reading a couple of the new 52 ones. I'm like, I want some Aquaman comics. These covers look cool. I take them home. I read one of them. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then I Google, I'm like, oh, this isn't even the right one.
Yeah.
Well, this cover is cool. I'm happy I have it.
I kind of like that arc, though. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, it's certainly a big jump if you're looking for something specific. But the idea is that San Diego sinks into the sea, but then a bunch of people miraculously survive, and they learn later that this doctor had been like basically poisoning the water supply with things that were rewriting their DNA to be more Atlantean.
Oh my god!
So it becomes Sub Diego. It becomes this other
like Atlantis,
basically, especially after the Spectre destroys the Atlantis during Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, that's my favorite Aquaman arc outside the New 52. It's amazing. I love all the stuff that happens there. And that has Lorna Marquez in it, who is my favorite Aqua girl. So
yeah, it's a pretty cool little arc. Cool moment for Aquaman. I think in an era you wouldn't think Aquaman was meaningful at all. Yeah.
Wow. I gotta read that Sub Diego series. Every time I hear about it, I want to check it out. All right, well, that is the last question, but we are not done yet because it's time to play everyone's favorite game.
I'm ready.
Can you guess the name of the character based on who someone who does not read comic books can describe that character to us? It's got a easy, catchy name. If you don't know what this game is, basically, I send a photo of a DC Comics character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them, and she sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. I know who this is, but Anne and the Doctor do not.
That's right.
Are you both ready to play?
You can guess as many times. You could guess as many times as you like. Okay. There's no wrong way to play.
Yep.
Other than, I guess, getting it wrong.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, you can have any question you want as long as it's the right one.
Oh, don't you tease me with the. I was trying to think if I could make like ocean puns for Fast. I was like the crab and the. No, I don't have it.
The splash and the.
Yeah, the splash and the. No. No, I don't have it.
The turfiest. No, that's not good. I don't like that.
I swim my life a quarter knot at a time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
That fucking Earth 11 Aquaman could tie a knot around my neck.
Easy.
All right. Okay. So, first clue.
Okay.
We're starting real broad here.
All right.
Crazy eyes.
Oh boy. Great start.
Yeah, she's always good for the first clue.
I think crazy eyes. I think Black Manta. Those are some crazy eyes.
Oh no.
Jimmy Olsen when he's a lizard.
That would be fucking incredible if that's
that
what
would
it was.
be like the snipe of the century.
Yeah,
that would have been beautiful. Oh, by the way, are these is it just an Aquaman character or is it any DC character?
No, it's any DC character.
Okay. I gotta open my third eye then. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, that would be far too kind. I used to do that, but then the Doctor's batting average got way too high.
Hang on, Crazy Eyes,
10-eyed
man.
No.
Okay, well, whatever.
No, that would be again way too good of a clue.
Do you want another clue, or do you want to throw another one out there first?
Another clue.
Okay, sure. Another clue. The next clue is surrounded by a green stretch glow.
Oh, well, Swamp Thing?
No.
Blight?
No.
Okay, we've already done Atomic Skull and Dr. Phosphorus, so I'm assuming it's neither of them.
It's neither of them.
Green glow makes me think a lantern.
Ooh, that's a good call.
No, it's not.
It's not a lantern?
It's not a lantern.
Fuck.
It's a book I have too, and I recently got, which is exciting.
A green stretch glow?
Yeah.
A green stretch glow.
I'm not sure what that means, but
I'm not sure either. Unless it's some kind of like force field things, so like Brainiac 5 or
no.
Yeah. I think I need another clue.
Yeah.
What about you, Anne?
Yeah, I'm good for another clue.
Okay. I really like this clue. Okay. All right. Third clue. 60s art house Piet Mondrian Barbie.
Oh, get fucked. I hate these clues. Although I guess a Mondrian thing is slightly helpful because it's at least giving you colors and patterns. So the Mondrian thing is that like red and yellow and blue kind of square rectangle geometric shit. But it looks like a Barbie.
60s art house. Piet Mondrian.
Shade the Changing Girl?
No.
Oh,
Crazy eyes.
That's a good guess too. Okay,
surrounded by
crazy eyes, green
glow.
stretch glow.
Yeah.
60s art house Mondrian thing.
Yeah, Mondrian Barbie.
Christ almighty.
Say, I'm looking at the pattern, but nothing's
red and yellow and blue. Okay. What is red and yellow and blue? Ultra Comics.
No.
That'd be a crazy pull if you
that
did
would
that.
be no.
It doesn't look like a Barbie. Does have crazy eyes.
Yeah.
Not like.
I think I need the last clue.
The last clue.
Yep.
I'm not even close.
All right. The last clue. Girl next door that's feeling a little fun and got color streaks in her hair.
Oh. Related to the Doom Patrol in any way?
I don't think so.
Is it Halo?
It's Halo!
Oh, that's a good one. Yes. Good call. That makes so much sense.
Fuck. It took me too long. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it with the clue thing. I mean, the Mondrian thing only helpful in that it gives you primary colors.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Yep. That is
Wow. You hear me, listeners?
Well, Anne, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. Let the world know where they can find you online, because I know that you are a solid Twitter follower.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Ann Comics, and you can also follow our podcast over at CMX Collective on Twitter. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts do. And check us out this Wednesday as we talk about Action Comics 775. What's so funny about Justice in the American Way. And we talk about Superman versus the Elite too. So we talk about the book and the adaptation.
That's
so that's
awesome.
going to be fun.
You recently, within the last couple of months, added that to your collection.
I did.
one.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've got some. I got deep into Action Comics recently. I've got a way too much already.
Well, see, there you go. There's your excuse. You finally have to actually. I know you have so many comics to go through, but you have to read that one, and then check out the Comics Collective podcast where Ann is talking about it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you have to watch Superman versus the Elite. It's pretty solid.
I don't have so much fucking time. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Dude.
And residents, we would love to hear from you. Were you able to guess the character this week? Were you able to guess that it's Halo? Most importantly, what's wrong?
Well, I just realized where we were in the episode, and I remembered I have no idea what to say next week's episode is. Vamp for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hang on.
This is me vamping. That's how you vamp, right? You talk about the fact that you're vamping.
Jesus Christ.
That's what valuable vamping is.
You son of a bitch.
No, maybe were you able to guess that it was Halo this week?
Oh, right. I remember what I said.
Maybe you want to send in a clue for next week's episode.
Next week's episode, we're talking about Bizarro, the Bizarro world.
Yes!
Anything related to Bizarro, any version of Bizarro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've got some.
It am regular episode next week.
Me got good, or me got bad Bizarro books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarro hate Bizarro.
Oh my God. I'm so stoked. You need to read that Bizarro book that I've got, the one that's written backwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, God, so good.
So yes, send your questions about Bizarro or Earth 29 or any version of Bizarro, basically.
Yeah,
for next
please
week.
do that. You can ask those questions through our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast,
our Twitter,
at Dr. DC,
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast,
our email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com.
You can have fun on our subreddit,
r/Dr_DC.
You can also, just like Ryan Putney did, you can give us a call.
208-917-3238.
You jump on that doc phone. It's 208-917-DCEU.
If you're nasty.
Ryan clearly is. He's a dang ass freak. And then we are on TikTok.
Yeah, at Dr. DC on TikTok. It's me being dumb. I haven't posted anything in a while, but I got to put something.
You still got to do that freaking Alfred thing.
I will when I have someone else in the car to hold the camera.
I've been there.
We're not doing the fake taxi thing you keep pushing for.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not making porn together. Put it that way.
The porn dorm.
God damn it. But yes, follow on TikTok for some very stupid, silly things.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to get all of these episodes and you do want to subscribe to the man, you can get our episodes on our website.
That's right, drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
That's right. And we got merch on there.
Yeah, buy our merch.
And of course, subscribe every single week to our podcast on all the different platforms that exist. And while you're on those platforms, give us a review.
Yeah, we'll read it on the podcast. We love getting those reviews.
Yeah.
And if you love us, which presumably you do,
Docmas is coming up.
We're award winning, and the government said we did a good job.
That's right. So praise us with tithings.
Yeah. Send your tithe yourself to us, and bequeath us your estate, and subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. They all give you access to the Discord, our really fun, awesome fan community. We're doing some fun like book club stuff. We're about to read Hellboy in Hell. Mm-hmm. That's not DC related, just fun to do. And at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes, video episodes. You get to vote for episode themes, all sorts of fun stuff. It helps support us.
Yeah. And while you're supporting us and giving us tithing, send us some physical products to our mailbox.
Yeah. 301 Hogue Street, HOGE Street, Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, Y1A. 1V8.
Say that to Richard Eden or Reed Vanier. And finally, the final place where you can appreciate us on the Better Podcast.
If you thought we were fucking thirsty here thinking about Earth 11 Aquawoman, you haven't listened to our other podcast, Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch, where we are going through every single episode of CW Supernatural.
Just fucking wait till we get to Abaddon.
We just finished season 3. We're about to start season 4, so we're going to be lusting for Castiel.
Holy shit!
It's gonna be intense over there. So yeah, go subscribe to that one too.
Yeah, we're gonna be fucking camping.
Oh no,
because it's gonna be intense.
I get you.
Yeah. Say goodbye, Anne.
Goodbye, everyone.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.